Welcome out, everybody. It's a new episode of So Tell Us Time, where Trevor and Troy Howard help you navigate the highs, the lows, the happies, and the woes.
There you go.
You like this voice?
No.
Well, this voice likes you. All right, guys. Today, we're going to be talking about the hammer. Yes, the hammer. Sometimes in business, we get really good at using a certain tool or strategy, and it becomes our go-to for everything, right?
Yep.
So it's that old saying, when you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail. In fact, it's like these medical shows we watch. It's like the cutters always want to cut, right? And the naturopathic ones want to, heal with the more natural stuff. And, it's funny. It's just funny to see how people get stuck in one route and they just want to do that over and over and over again. Maybe they find success with it. Maybe it just feels natural to them. Or like you said, they're just really good at it, right? But as a business owner, you have to be really well-rounded because you're talking, there's so many different aspects to a business. You can't just bang away at everything, right?
Yeah.
You can't just treat everything like a nail is the point. And so we've got some great examples for you guys today. And we're going to be talking about the strengths in your business. We're going to be talking about the focus in your business. We're going to be talking about the weaknesses in your business. And then we're going to be talking about fixing it, right?
Yep.
And sometimes it requires a hammer. Sometimes it requires duct tape. If you can't fix it with duct tape, you can't fix it.
Right.
Sometimes it requires some glue. And then sometimes it requires a fine surgeon's hands to stitch it all together.
Yep.
All right, Troy, let's jump in. It's all you, man.
All right. So we're going to talk about being well-rounded and basically facing your weaknesses head on. Because like Trevor said, a lot of times, once we get really good at one thing, we're like, that's the answer. That's always the answer, And I'll share kind of an experience with one of our clients. We had a client that we were doing marketing for, and they're bringing in about $800,000 a month in leads generated for them. And but they weren't closing as many sales as they wanted to close. So they're like, we should be doing better than this. We should be doing better. And we're like, we need more leads. We need more leads. That's what we need. We just need more leads. And it was the hammer. Every single time, it was just give me more leads. Give me more leads. Give me more leads. And we kept upping the amount of leads that we brought into them every single month, but it didn't seem to change.
Right.
And so we're like, okay, we've got to stop, we've got to stop hammering this problem and we got to start looking at it in a different way. And what we figured out was the issue was not the leads.
No.
The issue was the staff, right? So we had all of these leads coming in the door, but the staff wasn't answering the phones.
Yep.
That was a big problem that they had. They just wouldn't answer the phone at all. Or another issue was they'd get a voicemail and they'd never call them back.
Right.
Or if they
get
did,
a form fill and
Yeah.
they wouldn't call the person, contact the person back.
Exactly. Someone fill out a form saying, I'm interested in this.
Or they wouldn't close them over the phone. They wouldn't get them in for an appointment, which was super annoying.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was funny because in talking with the owners, they're like, well, you keep saying it's our staff. And we're like, guys, the calls are recorded and you listen to them and you know that they're not closing. You have $800,000 in leads and you're closing $60,000. That's a problem. You don't need more leads. You need better training for your employees.
Yeah, exactly.
And they just wanted to bang away at it. No, more leads. And they're like, you keep saying that. And they were like getting frustrated with us. And I'm like, this isn't an opinion.
Yeah.
Like, this is fact. And you just need to fix it. Push the pride aside, fix the problem.
Yeah, exactly. And we sat down with them, and when we started to show them, okay, great, here's this person who came in, or this person that was contacted, they were interested in the service, and how many times did you follow up with them? Well, we called them back once.
Yeah.
And we left them a voicemail. Okay. And did they call you back? No, they didn't call us back. So did you try calling them back again? No. Did you email them? No. Did you text them? No. Okay. So that lead just died, So once we showed them the issue, then they started to get like, okay, I get it.
Well, and mind you, these were big gigs. These were big jobs.
Yeah.
Okay. You're talking anywhere from $30,000 to $60,000. And they were calling the person once and then letting it die.
Yeah. So, obviously the problem was not the leads. The problem was the staff. So we came in and we said, look, we'll train your staff. We'll train them how to answer the phones, what information they need to get, how to get the person to close right there on the phone. And they're like, maybe, I don't know. And they were like, okay, we'll help you put a system in place so that you can automatically follow up. And that way, like, hey, this lead came in, who picked it up, who took care of it, who called it, who followed up, all that kind of stuff. And they're like, we're really, really busy. And it's like, okay, So again, it just kind of came down to like, hey, just give us more leads and then we'll close some of those.
And what was funny is, like, think about this. How many times, and we've talked about this in the past, how many times does our team touch a potential customer?
Oh my gosh.
Between the automated text messages, emails, personal phone calls, personal text messages, personal emails. I mean, just throw it out there. I can't remember what we said last time. What was it? I mean, was it 12 plus times? I mean, was it
there's 12 stages.
Yeah, 12
and there's
stages.
Multiple touch points in every single stage.
I say at least 20, right?
Oh, yeah. Probably more like 40 or 50.
40 or 50. Now, let me put this into perspective. Here is a client of ours who has jobs that are $30,000 to $50,000, $60,000 per close. Our average is $99 to $199, $100 to $200.
Yeah.
And they were touching their client one time. We are touching our potential clients, 40 plus times for a couple $100.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that tells you how skewed and screwed up their system was that they had in place. Their lack of system, I should say.
Yeah, exactly. Right? And that's because, again, they had one solution or one answer to their problem, which was always, well, just give me more leads, right?
Yeah.
Instead of looking at the weaknesses and saying, okay, now how can we improve? How can we, do better so that we're making more money off of this?
Right.
And so that's what we're going to talk about today. So what are first off, let's talk about your strengths. What in your business are you really good at it? Are you really good at marketing? Bringing people in the door, those potential leads in the door? Are you really good at the sales part of it? Do you convert the majority of the people that you talk to that are interested in your services? Or are you really good at the customer service side of it, where you're like, hey, you know what, man, it's hard for me to get a customer, but when I get a customer, they love me and they stick around for a really long time.
Yeah,
right.
That's a good customer.
Maybe that's what you are. Maybe you're really good at customer service. Maybe you're really good at retention. How long do your customers stick around?
And you should know that number. That is like one of the most important numbers in your company.
Yes.
How long do you keep a customer?
Yep.
That number equals the revenue off of that person. And that revenue number tells you how you can do or what you can do in all of the other aspects of your business.
Yeah.
Running the company, marketing the company, things like that. So.
Exactly. And then another one might be upsells. Maybe you're really good at getting upsells with customers. So like, I'm pretty good at selling them, but once I get them in, I can upsell them on multiple products, and that's where I make my money. Yeah. So I want you to think about those different categories and just decide, what are you best at? Where are your strengths in those categories? Now I'm going to ask you, what do you focus on most in your business? Where do you spend the most of your time?
The path of least resistance, which is what the problem is. That's the hammer mentality.
Exactly.
You spend your time, I guarantee most of you, and we all do this, spend our time where we're the best at.
Yeah.
Whatever we're the best at. That's where we want to spend our time because that's what we're comfortable.
It makes us feel good, right?
I accomplished something today.
Yeah, if you're really kind of a salesperson and you love selling, that's where you're going to spend your time because it makes you feel good about yourself, doing it. Or if you're really good at customer service, you may, just be like, I'm not gonna do any sales calls. I'm not gonna send out any emails. I hate that. But the minute a customer calls, you're like, oh my gosh, you're on the phone with them for like 2 hours because you're like, it makes you feel good because you're really good at the customer service side of it.
Yes.
And making them happy. So where do you focus most of your time in the business? And most likely that's also going to be where your strength is.
Yep.
So if you're having a hard time figuring out your strength, that's a way to figure it out is where do you spend your time? And then the next one, this one's a little bit harder, but what is your biggest weakness? So now I'm going to go right through that same list again.
I can tell you right off the bat what their biggest weakness is. This shouldn't be hard for them to figure out. Whatever you hate doing the most is probably your biggest weakness.
Probably. So is it marketing? Are you just not very good at marketing? Are you not very good at sales? Do leads come in, but you have a really hard time closing the sale, and actually asking them to purchase?
Well, we have a client that doesn't want to pick up the phone. And it drives me bananas, but it's like they've got calls coming in, they've got, form fills coming in, and then they have web chat.
Yes.
And it's like they're really good at being pretty responsive on the web chat because it's easier for them. That's more their personality. They're pretty good with the replying. They're okay with replying to the form fills. And then they're just really crappy at the phone calls because they don't want to talk on the phone to people. Yeah. They just want more jobs. But I'm like, and so it's this constant battle. But I can tell. He's like, well, how do I get more revenue this year? Because that's what we all care about. We want to grow our business. And I'm like, you answer your phone. That's what you do. Like, start doing the thing you don't like to do. And in fact, I'm going to end with that.
Exactly. So, is it sales? Is it customer service? Do you love selling customers? But then when they call you after the fact, you're like, jeez, why is this guy calling me? Is it retention? Are you great at selling new people, but they cancel very quickly? And they're out the back door. Yeah. That's, a lot of businesses, that's their biggest problem is they have figured out to sell the customer, but they don't know how to retain the customer.
For instance, we have an industry. We've been doing this a long time. And in different parts of our companies that do different things. I'm just thinking of one off the top of my head, but one part of our company, one product, has an industry that they love it. They come in, but they just don't stick.
Yeah.
And it's not because it doesn't work for them. It's actually because their paychecks aren't very steady either. And so anyways, point being is we realized fairly quickly that they love it, they bombard it, and then they leave fairly quickly.
Yeah.
And they're not hassle clients. They're awesome clients. They're great. But we decided that's not where we want to market. We don't want to market to them because they don't really last. They're not our ideal customer. They're great customers for a time, but they're not the ideal customer.
Yeah, so we've changed our game plan. We're not spending marketing dollars on those customers. We're still getting them coming in the door, right? Because they naturally are looking for our service and want it. So we're not spending the marketing dollars there, but we are looking at, okay, what can we do on a retention side to help them last a little bit longer.
Yeah.
So it may be that it may be not be an overall weakness that you have in your entire company. Like us, this isn't a weakness that's across the board.
No.
But it's just in one small industry that we service.
And through little tiny incremental improvements, big results happen.
Yes.
And so the fact that we are able to drill down that deep and find that weakness is awesome because we can adjust that. That's one thing that we're working on is how do we help them, find more success with the system, meaning that they utilize it longer, which gives them naturally more success. And so we're making adjustments. If we weren't studying this, tracking this, finding these things out, drilling down to these different areas, looking for the cracks, we would just be losing a lot of potential revenue over there.
Yep.
So.
Exactly. And so that's why it's really important to be able to focus and be able to see your weaknesses. Because a lot of times as business owners, we don't want to see our weaknesses. We put these blinders on and we're like, everything's going great. I just need more sales.
Yeah.
I just need more sales. I don't need to worry about the fact that my staff isn't doing a good job.
Right.
Closing the sales, or maybe I'm not doing a good job communicating with my existing customer base,
Right.
whatever those problems are. Don't put the blinders on. You need to be actively looking at, where do I have weaknesses in myself and in my business, and then how do I fix those?
And if you've got a company that has residual income, so customers that pay every single month, you need to be paying attention, because a lot of people not knowing their numbers, the question is, are you gaining? You might be putting a lot of customers in the top, but you might be losing a lot out the bottom of that barrel.
Yeah.
And are you breaking even every month? Are you only growing incrementally, tiny bits at a time, because you lose so many customers? Or are you actually losing more customers than you're gaining each month? And that our business has done this.
Yeah.
There's nothing shameful about it. Businesses do this, right? And sometimes we get on these tracks, and this is why it's so important to be listening to a podcast like us, or looking at these different marketing avenues, because you get on this little, let's call it a vein, right? You're going down this vein like a gold mine, right? You're going down this vein, and all of a sudden the vein dries up. Or maybe you're going down an area, and it's a hit or miss vein, and so you stop drilling down that way. Well, then guess what? You were just centimeters away from the big payout. Boom, So it's really important to know these numbers, to drill down, to pay attention, and not to let pride get in the way.
Yeah.
There's things that we start up and have to stop, that we stopped earlier and now we're starting back up again. Like, we're always going, because things will shift, things will change, competitors will go out of business, new competitors will come into business. Like, things are always changing. So if you're not adapting, then you are falling behind.
Exactly. All right. So how do you fix it? Well, it's really simple. There's only a couple of solutions. Either one, you learn it, right? If it's a weakness that you have in your business, you learn how to do it, right? Let's say you are great at sales. You had to learn how to be a great salesperson.
Correct.
If you're really bad at customer service, then you need to learn how to be good at customer service. That's one way to do it.
Yep.
Another solution is employ it, meaning you need to hire somebody that is their strength, and they can take that over for you, and they will do an amazing job, and you do not have to worry about it anymore.
Yep.
So you can employ somebody to do it for you. You can, if you can't bring on a full-time employee, you can contract it, meaning like you can hire a contractor, someone else, an outsider, a 1099 employee, something like that, or a company that will provide that service to take care of it for you. Someone who's an expert in that field, or has employees that are great at that can take care of it for you. So you bring in someone to solve that problem, but not a full-time employee. And then the final thing is automate it. We talk about automation a lot. So automating it. If it's something that you hate to do but can be automated, then get it automated, and then you don't have to do it anymore. But but it is getting done all the time for your business. So those are 4 ways that you can solve that problem. So let's go over those real quick again. Learn it, employ it, contract it, or automate it.
Yep. And then I will just add to that, again, from what I said earlier, that I said I'm going to end it with, is if you hate it, you need to do it.
Yep.
If you hate it, you need to figure it out. You got to learn it, you got to employ it, you got to contract it, or you got to automate it.
Yep.
One of the 4 things, right?
Yep.
And so that's going to be your biggest weakness. Whatever you hate is going to be your biggest weakness, because even if you hate it as the owner, even if you hire somebody, they can feel that, depending on how you speak and talk about it or whatever, and then they may think it's not as big of a deal, and they may not focus on it. And so anyways, as a leader, you have to lead. You have to be the head of the company. You have to, really show the employees how they should be working on things, doing things, and their attitude about it, right?
Absolutely.
All right, let's jump into homework. So figure out, what is your biggest weakness right now, and then I want you to actually block off time in the next 4 weeks. So all of January, block off time. Go on your calendar and put in an hour a day or a couple hours a day that you can focus on fixing this weakness. Whether, again, that's learning it, employing it, contracting it, or automating it, and then get it done in January. Take care of it in January.
And you'll have 11 months of success after that.
Yeah. Or you cannot. And don't listen to us. And in 12 months, in 11 months, I guess, after this month, you will still be in the same position you are now with that same weakness.
Yeah.
And another year will go by and you will be a year further behind, right?
Absolutely.
Make the sacrifices now, guys, to reap the rewards later. Yeah? Okay. Thank you so much for spending your morning with us. Happy Tuesday morning. Hope you guys have all the success in the world. Hope that our podcast is helping you guys do that, navigate these different ups and downs and back and forths and fun things that nobody really wants to talk about or focus on, but needs to be, right? So tell us time. We love you. We want you to share it. We want you to follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Get out there, find us, share it with your friends, and we appreciate it. We'll talk to you guys on the next episode of So Tell Us Time.